Introduction. A power is the product of multiplying a number by itself. The number which is being multiplied is called the base, and how many times the number is being multiplied is called the exponent. The exponent is written on the right top of the base. Consider 24 is equal to 16 is an equality. This can be written as 24 is equal to 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 is equal to 16. 24 here 2 is the base and 4 is the index. 2 is multiplied by itself 4 times gives 16. This form of expression is called exponential form. Similarly, 2m is equal to 2 into 2 into 2 into so on into 2 into 2 into so on 2 into 2 so on m times. Here 2 is the base and m is called the exponent, power or index. Objectives. At the end of this lesson you'll be able to define exponents, state the laws of exponents, express numbers in the exponential form, compare very large and very small numbers. Powers with negative exponents. 2 raised to the power 2 is equal to 2 into 2 is equal to 4. 2 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 1 upon 2 into 2 is equal to 1 upon 2 raised to the power 2 is equal to 1 upon 4. A raised to the power of minus n is equal to 1 upon a raised to the power n, where n is a positive integer. 5 raised to the power minus 3 is equal to 1 upon 5 into 5 into 5 is equal to 1 upon 5 raised to the power 3 is equal to 1 upon 125. 10 raised to the power minus 1 is equal to 1 upon 10. 10 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 1 upon 10 divided by 10 is equal to 1 upon 10 into 10, which equals 1 upon 100, which is equal to 1 upon 10 raised to the power 2. Consider the following. 5 raised to the power 4 is equal to 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 is equal to 625. 5 raised to the power 3 is equal to 5 into 5 into 5 is equal to 125, which is equal to 625 upon 5. 5 raised to the power 2 is equal to 5 into 5 is equal to 25 is equal to 125 upon 5. 5 raised to the power 1 is equal to 5, which equals 25 upon 5. 5 raised to the power 0 is equal to 1, which equals 5 upon 5. The previous number is divided by the base 5. From the above pattern, 5 raised to the power minus 1 is equal to 1 divided by 5, which is 1 upon 5. 5 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 1 upon 5 divided by 5, which is equal to 1 upon 5 into 5, which is equal to 1 upon 5 square. 5 raised to the power minus 3 is equal to 1 upon 5 square divided by 5, which is equal to 1 upon 5 into 5 into 5, which is equal to 1 upon 5 cube. In general, we can say that for any non-zero integer a raised to the power minus m is equal to 1 upon a raised to the power m, where m is a positive integer. A raised to the power minus m is the multiplicative inverse of a raised to the power m. Laws of exponents. First law, if a is any real number and m, n are positive integers, then a raised to the power m into a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n. 5 raised to the power 4 into 5 raised to the power 2 is equal to 5 raised to the power 4 plus 2 equals 5 raised to the power 6. Example: solve 2 upon 7 raised to the power 7 into 2 upon 5 raised to the power 2. Solution: 2 upon 7 raised to the power 7 into 2 upon 5 raised to the power 2 is equal to 2 upon 7 raised to the power 7 plus 2, which is equal to 2 upon 7 raised to the power 9. Second law: if a is any non-zero real number and m, n are positive integers, then a raised to the power m upon a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m minus n. Example: simplify 5 raised to the power 8 upon 5 raised to the power 3. Solution: 5 raised to the power 8 upon 5 raised to the power 3 is equal to 5 raised to the power 8 minus 3, which equals 5 raised to the power 3. Example: 3 upon 5 raised to the power 5 divided by 3 upon 5 raised to the power 2. Solution: 3 upon 5 raised to the power 5 divided by 3 upon 5 raised to the power 2 is equal to 3 upon 5 raised to the power 5 minus 2 equals 3 upon 5 raised to the power 3. Third law: if a is any real number and m, n are positive integers, then a raised to the power m raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power mn, which equals a raised to the power n raised to the power m. Example: solve 5 raised to the power 2 raised to the power 3. Solution: 5 raised to the power 2 raised to the power 3 is equal to 5 raised to the power 2 into 3 is equal to 5 raised to the power 6. Example: evaluate 2 upon 5 raised to the power 4 raised to the power 3. Solution: 2 upon 5 raised to the power 4 raised to the power 3 is equal to 2 upon 5 raised to the power 4 into 3 is equal to 2 upon 5 raised to the power 12. Fourth law: if a, b are any real numbers and m is any positive integer, then a raised to the power m into b raised to the power m is equal to ab raised to the power m. Example: simplify 6 raised to the power 4. Solution: 6 raised to the power 4 is equal to 2 into 3 raised to the power 4 is equal to 2 raised to the power 4 into 3 raised to the power 4. Example: simplify 2 upon 3 raised to the power 3. Solution: 2 upon 3 raised to the power 3 is equal to 2 raised to the power 3 upon 3 raised to the power 3 is equal to 8 upon 27. Fifth law: if a, b are real numbers and m is positive integer, then a raised to the power m upon b raised to the power m is equal to a upon b raised to the power m. Example: evaluate 2 upon 5 raised to the power 3. Solution: 2 upon 5 raised to the power 3 is equal to 2 raised to the power 3 upon 5 raised to the power 3, which equals 8 upon 125. Sixth law: if a is any real number then a raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. Example, find the value of 4 raised to the power minus 2, 1 upon 8 raised to the power minus 2. Solution. 4 upon minus 2 is equal to 1 upon 4 raised to the power 2 is equal to 1 upon 16. 1 upon 8 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 8 raised to the power 2 is equal to 8 into 8 equals 64. Example, simplify minus 6 raised to the power 5 into minus 6 raised to the power minus 10. 8 raised to the power 5 divided by 8 raised to the power minus 6. Minus 6 raised to the power 5 into minus 6 raised to the power minus 10 is equal to minus 6 raised to the power 5 minus 10, since a raised to the power m into a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n is equal to minus 6 raised to the power minus 5 is equal to 1 upon minus 6 raised to the power minus 5, since a raised to the power minus m is equal to 1 upon a raised to the power m. Minus 6 raised to the power 5 into minus 6 raised to the power minus 10 is equal to 1 upon minus 6 raised to the power minus 5. 8 raised to the power 5 divided by 8 raised to the power minus 6 is equal to 8 raised to the power 5 upon 8 raised to the power minus 6 is equal to 8 raised to the power 5 minus 6, since a raised to the power m divided by a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m minus n is equal to 8 raised to the power 11. 8 raised to the power 5 divided by 8 raised to the power minus 6 is equal to 8 raised to the power 11. Example, find m so that minus 5 raised to the power m plus 2 into minus 5 raised to the power 8 is equal to minus 5 raised to the power 9. Solution. Minus 5 raised to the power m plus 2 into minus 5 raised to the power 8 is equal to minus 5 raised to the power 9. Minus 5 raised to the power m plus 10 is equal to minus 5 raised to the power 9. Equating the exponents m plus 10 is equal to 9. M is equal to 9 minus 10, which equals minus 1. Example, find the value of 5 upon 7 raised to the power minus 2. Solution. 5 upon 7 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 5 raised to the power minus 2 upon 7 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 7 raised to the power 2 upon 5 raised to the power 2, which equals 49 upon 25. Example, find the value of 1 upon 5 raised to the power minus 2 minus 1 upon 3 raised to the power minus 3 divided by 1 upon 2 raised to the power minus 2, 2, 3 upon 8 raised to the power minus 8 into 8 upon 3 raised to the power minus 5. Solution. 1 upon 5 raised to the power minus 2 minus 1 upon 3 raised to the power minus 3 divided by 1 upon 2 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 1 raised to the power minus 2 upon 5 raised to the power minus 2 minus 1 raised to the power minus 3 upon 3 raised to the power minus 3 divided by 1 raised to the power minus 2 upon 2 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 5 raised to the power 2 upon 1 raised to the power 2 minus 3 raised to the power 3 minus 1 raised to the power 3 divided by 2 raised to the power 2 upon 1 raised to the power 2 is equal to 25 minus 27 divided by 4, which equals minus 2 upon 4, which is equal to minus 1 upon 2. 1 upon 5 raised to the power minus 2 minus 1 upon 3 raised to the power minus 3 divided by 1 upon 2 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to minus 1 upon 2. 3 upon 8 raised to the power minus 8 into 8 upon 3 raised to the power minus 5 is equal to 3 raised to the power minus 8 upon 8 raised to the power minus 8 into 3 raised to the power 5 upon 8 raised to the power 5 is equal to 3 raised to the power minus 8 plus 5 upon 8 raised to the power minus 8 plus 5 is equal to 3 raised to the power minus 3 upon 8 raised to the power minus 3 is equal to 8 raised to the power 3 upon 3 raised to the power 3 is equal to 512 upon 27. 3 upon 8 minus 8 into 8 upon 3 minus 5 is equal to 512 upon 27. Comparing very large and very small numbers. Radius of the earth is 6.37 into 10 raised to the power 6, and radius of the moon is 1.74 into 10 raised to the power 6. Compare the diameter of the earth with the diameter of the moon. Diameter of the earth is equal to 12.74 into 10 raised to the power 6 meters. Diameter of the moon is equal to 3.48 into 10 raised to the power 6 meters. Therefore, 12.74 into 10 raised to the power 6 upon 3.48 into 10 raised to the power 6 is equal to 3.66 meters. The diameter of the moon is about 3.66 times the diameter of the earth. Distance between Sun and Earth, 1.496 into 10 raised to the power 11. Distance between Earth and Jupiter is equal to 6.290 into 10 raised to the power 11 m. Distance between Sun and Jupiter is equal to 6.290 plus 1.496 into 10 raised to the power 11, which equals 7.786 into 10 raised to the power 11 m. Mass of Earth is 5.97 into 10 raised to the power 24 kilogram, and mass of Venus is 4.86900 into 10 raised to the power 26 kilograms. What is the total mass? Mass of Earth is 5.97 into 10 raised to the power 24 kg, and mass of Jupiter is 1.8987 into 10 raised to the power 27 kgs. What is the total mass? Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. In 2 raised to the power m, 2 is multiplied by m times. This form is called exponential form. The laws of exponents are 1. A raised to the power m into a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n. 2. A raised to the power m divided by a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m minus n. 3. A raised to the power m raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power mn. 4. A raised to the power m into b raised to the power m is equal to ab raised to the power m. 5. A raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. 6. A raised to the power m upon b raised to the power m is equal to a upon b raised to the power m. By using exponents, we can express small numbers in standard form. Using exponents, we can compare very large and very small numbers.